Okay, guys, have you ever seen somebody and you were like, you know what? I really want to smash this person right now. If so, this is the episode for you. Let us begin. Hello. Welcome to the Konnekt-000-7 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. Okay, guys, welcome to the 86th episode of this amazing podcast titled Sexual Energy and Attraction. And I am the host of this amazing podcast. My name is Thaddeus Sims, and I am very excited to actually get on this topic because this has been a little hot topic that's been going on this past week or so. And I was like, I've touched on it a little bit on the podcast, but I have not really went in depth. And I feel like I am going to have a guest speaker on this at some point. There's someone in mind, but we're going to hop into this episode because this is going to be very fun. But before we go deeper into this episode, no announcement. No announcement. The fun fact, which some of you, I believe I'm not the only one who didn't know this, but some of my friends be knowing these things and I don't. So here we go. Hewlett Packard's, also known as HP, which I did not know. I did not know HP stood for that. I just knew HP as HP. I didn't question it. I didn't ask, but now I know Hewlett Packard's. That's what HP stands for. But let us continue. Hewlett Packard's, also known as HP, name was decided in a coin toss in 1939. Ooh, 1939. Oof. My grandmother wasn't even born then. Okay, the name was always going to be a hyphenation of the two founders' last name. So in order to decide between Hewlett Packard and Packard Hewlett, they flipped a coin. So then, if let's just say that coin was to be whatever the other choice it was, then it would be PH, and then it would make me think of balance. I don't know, pH balance. But wow, literally a coin toss in 1939 was a decision between HP and PH. But now I know that stands for Hewlett Packard's. So yeah, there's that. And actually, I don't know why, but I kind of feel excited that this was a fun fact on technology-ish in a way. And it wasn't an animal. I don't know. That just did something for me. But let us get into this episode because I'm really excited about this. And I don't know where I'm going to go with. Well, I do know I'm going to go with this, but I have no idea how my energy is going to go with this because this is very funny. And I have just been listening to this. So let me give you guys where this began. So obviously you're listening to this podcast. I listen to another podcast as well. And this podcast is super funny. I love it. And in this particular podcast, they were talking about sexual attraction and different things like that. And I was just like, yeah, sexual attraction is a thing, like a big thing. Sex in general is a big thing. And I was like, this would be what they were talking about, which I'm going to go over. What they were talking about were, when you're attracted, to people sexually. Duh. And I was like, this is something that definitely needs to be talked about in my podcast because it's all about human connection. And obviously sex is part of connection. That's actually one of the biggest things, with connection because all of us got here through some type of sexual attraction with, our parents. So we got here through that. And some of us, we were different cases. So sexual attraction, we all know what that means, right? You see someone and you want to smash, right? Like you want, or some, sorry. We have different people who listen to this. You see someone and you may just want to have sex with them, right? Like, okay, this person looks really good. And sometimes some people are not really like all of us have different ways like that we're attracted to someone, right? It could be looks. It could be the way someone smells because we do have pheromones out here, so that's a thing. It could be someone's mind, the way obviously the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, all types of different things. So like you see someone and you're just like interesting. And then you get to know them and it's like, I would like to have sex with you. But you know what? I'm not gonna tone it down for you guys because this has been a very funny week and we're gonna really get into this. So this is gonna be a little bit not X-rated, but kind of there. So I'm not gonna hold back in this. But let's just be honest, we're all adults here, right? And if you are listening to this podcast and you are younger than 15, well, god dang, actually, you need to hear this because if you're really young, you need to be aware of this. So we gonna do this, but just be cautious because I'm not really gonna hold back on this. But okay, that being said, let's come at this now. You see someone and it's just like, dang, dang, they're really good looking. And for you ladies, it's like, you know what? Like, are they really good looking where they're like, okay, like the minute we get in a different room, I'm going to drop my panties for them, like good looking. And then for guys, it's just like, wow, like, okay, I know, like if I get her in a room, like everything's coming off. We're gonna do it. I don't care. Like we could do it in her, like family could be in the other room, right? Like that attraction is strong. It's really like but this is the interesting thing about that, right? Sometimes, because I'm gonna hit you with a curveball, sometimes it may not mean that it's time that you're supposed to smash this person, right? Like I just built all this up to tell you, what do you mean I'm not supposed to smash this person? Like I see this person, I want them, I want to do things to them, I want to do all types of things to them, right? But sometimes, guys, it's not the case. Like sometimes that is really not. So what I mean by this is that sometimes when you have this sexual attraction, it means that you are to come together and create something besides a baby. You know what I mean? Besides a baby and other activities, right? You're to create a relationship, and it may not be a friends with benefits. It may not be a sexual relationship, but there is a strong attraction to you between you and that other person. And sometimes it may not be sexual. It was just like the sexual attraction. Like, oh, they look like they have these different things. Like, they have the things that turn you on. They're your type and stuff like that. Sometimes it may be that was like the thing to bring you together. Like that was the thing to get you to go talk with the individual. They stood out for a reason. They were your type, and it was like, someone pretty much got like, how do you do it? A treat. Like when you give a dog a treat, right? It's like, or some bait, to get a fish. It's like, here's the bait. And it's just like, okay, now that you talk, yeah, it's not about sex. It's actually something completely different. So before we get into what that means, what, like something different, we're going to get into this, like I said. So no, we're going to stay on this a little bit because sometimes the things that you are to create, it may be someone to be like a business partner of yours, right? It may be that you've been working on a project or there's something you've been working to, let's just say, achieve or manifest. And that person may be like the person to help you with that, or it's a sequence of events that, leads you for that person to be the one to help you in business, to be the one that helps you meet someone that you needed to meet or gets you into doors that you wouldn't have been able to get to by yourself. You know what I mean? Different opportunities. So sometimes it may be just someone for you to create different things with. And again, like I said, it's not babies and different things like that. And sometimes that's how things get you. Like you see a person, and let's just say, like, let's just be honest, guys. We've been in some type of meeting of some sort. It may not even be business or whatever, but we've seen somebody that just stood out like, oh, I would smash them, like just by the looks. And then when you see everybody else, but you don't really care for them like that. It's like, okay, yeah, they're there. That's, that's Tasha over there. That's Trish, but it's something, I don't know, man. It's something it's something about Christina. Like, oh no. And then when you was like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to Christina because I don't really care about these other people, right? And you get to talk with them, but it may not even be like, oh, I'm trying to smash. Like when you talk with Christina on a whole different level, a whole different vibe, and it's kind of like, whoa, that kind of changed, right? And okay, so now switching this from a guy's point of view, you could be in the meeting, ladies, and it's like, okay, yeah, you see Tyler, you see Chris, you see Michael, but it's something about Damien that's just like, you'll drop your panties for him. Like all he got to do is look at you, lick his lips, and it's just like, yeah, okay, all up. Give me a few minutes. And he married too. I don't gotta say nothing, right? I'm just messing with you. Some of y'all, don't mess with people who marry. But hey, all I'm saying is we're talking about sexual attraction. So sometimes marriages are not the typical marriage. It could be an open one. But I'm a hush on that note because we're gonna stay on point here, right? So this does not mean I'm disrespectful in marriages. Don't get me, please, guys. Let me just say that if you're a married person, I am not saying that. Go out there and do that. I'm just being crazy here but actually, no, I'm not being crazy, but I'm also being like open because it's like, I have met some people who I'm like, oh, they're married and, but they're like, oh no, it's an open marriage type of thing. And it's just like a whole different thing. And I'm like, well, this is 28. Well, at the times, 2018, 2019, I'm like, hey, things are changing now. Hey, but please do not take this as me saying your marriage is, not just with you two. So just saying there's other people who have different things. But anywho, going back to the topic here. Something about Damien and whatnot. And, ladies, you want to drop them panties for him. You know what I mean? All it takes is for you to spill something accidentally on Damien while you guys are alone. And then, boom, you help him clean it up and you accidentally fall on some penis, right? But that may not be the case, right? When you talk with Damien. So here's what I mean. We're going to go into this. Like I said, it's like a beacon, or not a beacon, but it's like a treat or whatever. Like, hey, this person's cute. This person's your type. And you go to talk with them and then boom, like the sexual energy is kind of like, whoa, it kind of like drop. It's like, whoa, they talk with you a certain way. Not in a mean way, but it's just like, that came out of left field. Like, wow, Damien is actually really like smart and on point. Damien knows a lot of stuff about, business finance. And that's something I've been looking to talk with. So let me actually ask him about that because I didn't know. And then you get to know Damien more. And Damien tells you, oh, yeah, I love finances. I love numbers and things like that. Right now, I'm just looking to partner with someone or, help companies and things like that grow their businesses and stuff like that. And then boom, that was actually someone that you were looking for. Right. And sometimes the sexual attraction that you have is like what I'm saying is not usually the case for you to have sex with them, but to create something. Because when you think of sex, you are creating things. You are creating something. And yes, the byproduct usually is a child when it's, male and female and different things like that. And also if it's female, male, different things like that, there is a type of energy. There is a creation coming from that. And sometimes it's not, again, I'm going to keep saying it again, it's not just sex. It could be something that you guys are creating. So I felt like you get the point of that. Now, so another thing with that is over time, I would say you'll know the difference in a sense of when you communicate with them more, they may say something that may make you think of something else, like something that you've been working on or focused on, or you're actually, in the middle of. So you know the difference as you go. But now at the same time, sometimes in cases, it could be both. Sometimes it is a sexual attraction and it's like, okay, we're going to smash this person. And at the same time, you guys are creating something else, something different. So there's people that you can, link up with in that way. And you guys are doing, a whole type of building a whole type of organization. You guys are working on events. You guys are coming together. You're creating something. You get the gist. So basically, the first part of this, because this is going to be broken up into two parts, the sexual attraction. So the first part of this is just being aware of that. And just being aware of the energy that you feel. And like I said, it may not just be just sex, or it could be both, right? But just be aware, like, it happens. I know for me that I will see some people and I'm just like, dang, like she looks really good. Or I'm like, whoa, she long hair. Oh my gosh, like she is interesting. And then you walk by and then the scent, it's like, oh my gosh, like she smells really good. And it's like, okay, I want to talk with her. I need to get to know her, right? But I will always come to find, like, usually the minute they open their mouth, because I'm sapiosexual. So the minute you open your mouth, if the intelligence is like not there, then that's gone. Just like, okay, gone. But sometimes they may say something and it's like, whoa, okay, she different, or she's saying different, she's using words here, and it's like, okay, now you got my interest and stuff like that. Like, I'm curious. And then as they talk more and I get to know them, and it's just like, oh, they say, oh yeah, I'm into marketing and things like that. And it's like, whoa, okay, you do marketing business. Like, yeah, I meet these type of people, and next thing you know, you connect with the person. And the only reason why I even started to talk with them was because they had my, like, sexually, it was like there was a little bit of an attraction there, right? So we're not gonna go too deep on there, because we got some Scorpios out here and they probably like, that's pathetic, you know what I mean? Like, no, we're gonna go further into this. And we got some other people who has high sex drives, but we're not gonna go into that because we could. But we're gonna bring it back a little bit because we can go different places. So that was the sexual attraction segment of this. We're gonna actually move on to the sexual energy, right? Because the sexual attraction is like, it gets you there. It's like the door opener sometimes, right? It's like the, hey, here, come look at me, right? But what do you do when, okay, hey, Thad, it had a sexual attraction to, this person, and I actually want to smash them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're good. I established that it was not for business purposes. It was strictly beating up walls, or in her case, it was, strictly sliding up and down some things, grabbing some things, right? Enjoying some things, or falling on something. You know what I mean? Like, it's different for everybody. So what do you do when it's just like, all right, there is this sexual energy and you work on it? So the first thing that I'm going to always say, because I feel as though we're not really taught this. And again, I'm going to say this, if you don't believe in this, that's cute. That's okay. You don't have to each his own. But I'm going to do my best to make you aware of it. But a lot of people aren't really taught this, and they may hear it and they may not think about it, but you have to be aware that, sex is more than a physical thing. Like, it really is. There is major energy exchange, like a major exchange of energy that's going on between you and that person, and sometimes you and those group of people. Let us be honest, because we can do things out here. So you literally take on parts of the people that you have sex with. And a lot of people don't know this. And a lot of people, and if they kind of are like, they heard about it, they don't really dive deep enough to like talk about this. And if you're one of those people, baby, you finna get educated today. Because when you are having like sex with someone, there is an exchange. Okay, here's what I mean. Emotionally, right? A lot of people, have you noticed people say, oh, I'm just trying to have sex with you, but no strings attached. Somebody gonna develop, some feeling some type of way, right? Emotions are going to get involved. And some people say, oh yeah, I have to have sex with some people and I don't feel that. I don't have an emotional connection. Okay, cool. That's cool. But I will tell you, somebody got it in there, and some people just ain't gonna say nothing about it, right? And sometimes people may not think, like, some people may think emotional may be like an emotional attachment or attraction or an exchange of energy may be, oh, yeah, I really want to be with you, and I'm really falling for you and in love with you and stuff like that. But it may not be that type of an emotional exchange. It may be like, okay, I know by me having sex with you, emotionally, I'm going to feel better from other situations. It's kind of like when you are used to it's like a habit, or a certain habit makes you feel a certain way. You go out swimming, or you do something like meditate, or you play a sport. It's going to do something for you. It gives you some type of feeling, be it of happiness, relievement, whatever. There is some type of emotional connection that you have to that. And it's just like sex being an activity. So if you're doing something emotionally, like sex, emotionally, it may not be, again, I'm falling for you, but it may be some type of, because I'm having sex with you, I'm feeling better. I'm able to relieve this thing over here. I'm able to feel some type of way. I'm able to feel like I'm able to dominate. So there is some type of emotional exchange. So be aware. It may not be the way you think it is, but there is one. Another thing is thoughts, right? A lot of people aren't aware of it, but even like with your thoughts, like when you start having sex with people, you'll start to think like them. There is an exchange that's going on, right? And vibes. There are vibes that you guys are exchanging. If this person's on a high vibe and you're on a high vibe, y'all on high vibes, y'all good. But if one party is on low vibes, as in like they're depressed or they just going through some shit, you gonna feel that. You may not be aware of it, but think about it. If you like really just be aware when you have sex with someone, ask yourself, how do you feel afterwards? Like once you're done with them and they gone or whatever, however you do it. I don't know if they say the night or you kick them out, however it goes, you give them an Uber, whatever we do nowadays. Ask yourself, how do you feel afterwards? Are you feeling yourself? Are you thinking a bit different? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Do you feel off? Do you feel disconnected? Are you feeling worried a little bit? Are you feeling happier? Are you feeling more positive? Like these are important questions to ask yourself when it comes to this sexual energy, because guys, it is more than just physical. It's more than just busting nuts out here. It's more than just getting wetter than the ocean out here, right? We are exchanging things, and you guys need to be aware. If certain people are battling some shit, you taking that into yourself. So it's really like you have to be very aware of like who you let inside your temple, guys and girls. You have to be very, very aware. And I like to look at it as you don't want just anybody, because some people don't understand that. Some people say, my body's a temple, and they just say that, and it's not really them taking it like, deep. So I'm going to say it to you like this. One of y'all have either some part of your house or some part of you. No, you know what? Let me make this really simple. Let me make this really, 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 really simple. Y'all not just going to let anybody in your house. Let me just say it to you like that. Some people may say, oh, I'm a friendly person. That's cool and all, but you're not going to let just anybody in your house. You're not going to leave your door wide open. And when I say wide open, some people are like, well, that, because some people like to challenge me, and it is funny to me. And I'm just like, okay, let me really break this down. Your ass is not going to go and leave your door, open your door, not unlock. I mean, open that bitch up, letting the AC out, and go work your 10-hour shift and come back home. You're not going to do that. You're going to close that door. So you're not going to just let anybody in there, right? And that's the same thing when it comes to your temple. Not saying that you just letting your door open, but you're not going to just let anybody in your temple, right? There's people you have to know. They have to, you have to be comfortable with them. There has to be some type of value that they're giving to you, right? And you're going to, then, okay, they cool. They can come over and stuff like that. But if you don't know them, you're not going to let people in. So you have to be very, very aware of the people you're letting between your legs, right? That is an important thing. And guys, you have to be very careful with who you are sticking it into. Now, here's another thing, because some people, we hear this whole body count and stuff like that. And I've come to find that there's a lot of friends who have had lots of sex with lots of different people. And I really asked them personal stuff about themselves. And there's always a lot of confusion there. It's always a lot of different emotions, a lot of different spiraling things. Like they was like, I really just don't know. And sometimes you have to be very aware of these people you having sex with, because you're taking on a lot of different energies that's not your own. So sometimes you might be confused and not even know why you're confused. You may feel some certain types of ways, and you just, for the life of you, don't understand where it's coming from. Some of you guys have been super positive, but then certain things have just been happening where you've just been in like a funk, right? And sometimes that is not your energy. That is other people. So I'm just making sure y'all are very aware. And this isn't to scare you, but this is just to make you more aware of who you give it to. Now, for someone who's aware, because I've talked with some friends, about this. So let's switch it up a little bit. Some people who are aware of sexual energy, you just have to start asking yourself, what is it that I would like when you're like, okay, I see this person, I would like to smash them. What type of exchange am I willing to get from this individual, right? And also you have to be aware of what you're going to give to this person too. So like when you see someone, I know me, I'm a sapiosexual type of person. I'm attracted to intelligence. So when I see somebody, it's just like, Is their intelligence on point? Is there things about their mind that I love that I would not mind exchanging? And then at that point, it's like, their character, things like that. Is this a good exchange? Because sometimes, guys, you have to treat yourself like, with a high value. All of you are gold, and you're not just going to throw your gold in trash. Not saying, no, I'm lying. Some people can be trash, but they fix that. So are you going to throw your possessions, like your valuable things, in the trash and keep it moving? So it's like you have to be very aware of that, right? So really ask yourself, when you see some people that really look good to you on the outside, you got to ask yourself, is this somebody I want to exchange energy with? Because some things that look good on the outside, some of these people probably don't drink water or haven't eaten fruit in years, and they pee is just as yellow and just as dark, and the insides is just as dry. Like, the outside look good, but the inside, it could be toxic. You know what I mean? So you have to really be careful. Like, really ask yourself, what type of exchange do I like to have if I'm going to smash this girl? And ladies, what type of exchange am I going to have if I throw this pussy on them? You know what I mean? You really have to ask yourself, is this a good exchange or is this a bad exchange? If it's a good exchange, then by all means, bust nuts. If it's not, then be careful. Now, you get the gist. We're not going to go to, I don't feel like I don't have to go more onto that. But we're going to talk about actual sexual energy, and it can be used in many different ways besides busting nuts out here, because who wouldn't want to bust nuts? But when you actually use your sexual energy, you can actually stay more productive. So when they say when you don't have sex and things like that, that energy kind of builds up. And we've all kind of been there in different things. I know for me, there was periods of time where I'm like, yeah, I couldn't not do certain things, sexual activities, because I'm like, man, I started to feel energized. My senses be heightened and shit like that. I'm just like, nah, I need to bust a nut to bring this energy back down, because I'm like, it's crazy. But when you actually keep, that energy in, you have more energy to do more things. You're more productive. Another thing to use that sexual energy is a lot of people have talked about it. And if you've never heard of this term, it's okay, or sexual energy used in this way. But a lot of people use sexual energy to manifest things. So we all know that when it comes to manifesting things, there is energy in motion. So emotions are going within that. And usually when you're having sex, the end result is you busting a really good nut and you feel really, really good. And also you're able to release a lot of good energy. There's even things, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I do believe there's even talks with sexual energy with Egyptian studies. I don't know if it's related to the Ankh. I do believe so, but there is a way when you have sex or you release or orgasm, there's a way to channel that energy out of, either it's out of the back and through the heart or the other way around. But that's how the Ankh looks the way it does. There's a lot of stuff with that. But sexual energy is a thing. And some people use sexual energy because it's a very powerful energy force to use for different things, such as manifesting the love of your life, a job, or different things like that. You'll be very surprised, guys. There's a whole thing out here, right? Even couples use this. There's a whole thing. Now, like I said earlier, sexual energy, it can help you, stay productive. And not only that, but sexual energy also, it can charge you up when you don't throw it away. So like I said earlier, I'm sure some of you guys have experienced when you haven't done nothing for a while, it kind of built up and you had a little bit more energy. You started doing a little bit more creativity and stuff like that. There's a whole science with this. Now, I'm going to talk about sexual energy when it comes to connecting with someone. You already heard me talk about when you're having sex with someone, there is an exchange. Now, when you do have sex with someone, there is a connect that you have with another person. And it really opens up new levels with that person. And that's why you just can't connect with anyone. So here's what I mean. If you really think about it, guys, the people you have sex with, you've been in their temple. So it's is really hard to describe, but there is a connection that you have with them. Even if y'all don't talk, a part of them that a lot of the world doesn't. So besides you've been in their guts or, you've been riding on a dick, besides that aspect, there is a part of them that you've connected with. In those moments of sex, you got to feel that person's energy. You got to connect with them. So what I mean is, everybody else will see this person may be cool, calm, and collected, but this person maybe have a dominant side. You may know this person has a rough side. You may know that there is some strong emotions that they have that only comes out during sex. You may know that they have it's just I can describe it in physical ways, but it's one of those. It's just like a knowing that you have a connection with this individual when you have sex. And sometimes when you use it the right way to connect with people, not just to like, oh, I just want to feel connection, so let's just have sex. Like, there's other things like getting to know them, taking them out on dates, actually asking questions, getting to know their mind, ask questions. I'm going to keep saying ask questions and other things besides just, throwing it at them. But when you use that sexual energy to connect with the person in the right way, as in like you both feel ready, you both are doing this because you would like, to deepen your relationship, then by all means. And when I say the wrong way, it's just like, yeah, I don't really care about you. I'm just really just trying to get this nut. You know what I mean? But be aware that, when you do use that sexual energy, it's used to connect with someone. So I hope from this, you guys understood that sexual energy and sexual attraction is more to it than what you probably seen on a porno, or what your cousin, your older cousin told you to do when you lost your virginity at one time. It's probably something that, your homeboys probably didn't tell you about, or your homegirls probably didn't tell you about. But, hopefully you got something different from this, because now sexual attraction is more than like, I really just want to smash him, or I really just want to get in her guts. Like, I'm actually attracted to you. And then boom, they talk and it may be something completely different. So be very aware and know the difference when it does come up for you guys. So you know how to respond to that. And, I'm going to throw this in here because this is on the podcast that I heard. Like, a part of this is like you have to know the difference between networking and neck working. There's a difference. N-E-T, neck, N-E-C-K. Like, there's a difference between networking for a business and then, neck working, having sex with someone for connections and other type of things. You got to know the difference, guys. Know the difference. And that's really that. And the sexual energy thing, guys, yeah, just be aware that there's more to sex than that. You get the point, guys. We are all adults here. And if you don't know this, and this is your first time hearing this from me, talk to a friend. Talk to a friend near you and ask them about sexual energy. Hell, if you're old enough, talk to your mom, talk to your dad about it. Talk to those relatives and ask them about sexual energy. Like, hey, do you know that sexual energy is more than just busting nuts? However, you got to word that in a polite way. Look into these things, guys. Look into these things, because I want you all to have healthy sex, and I want you to bust nuts with a quality amount of people and not just throw these orgasms away. And after you have that orgasm, you feel like shit and you feel depressed and all these things. Like, I actually want you to be wetter than a waterfall. And guys, I want you to, get deeper in those guts. You know what I mean? And actually, when you're done with it, you feel really good. You feel high vibrations. You feel connected. You feel like, you got to know this person better. After they left, you felt brighter. You felt happier and things like that. You didn't feel crappy. And you know more about yourself, right? Right? Let's do that. It's the end. We have less than 2 months of this decade. Let's have great sex, right? Because sex is fun. Sex is fun. Now, let us talk about health is wealth. And I figured we're talking about sex, and why not go on masturbation? I believe that I did this as a health is wealth, but we're going to bring it back up again just in case I did it. So masturbation is really good for you because it's good for you to get connected with yourself, right? Because the podcast is all about connecting with others. You are a human being. They are human beings. You got to learn how to connect with yourself. And masturbation is a great way to do that, right? See how I did that there? Brought it on you. Now, let's talk about this, because I wanted to get more than just my insight on this, because this was actually fun. But masturbation isn't unhealthy or bad for you at all. Masturbation can actually be good for you, for your health, both mentally and physically. And it's pretty much the safest sex out there. which the way they word that, I'm technically having, well, that makes sense. Since we're talking about the whole sex and sexual energy and things like that, I've changed the I don't say masturbate anymore. For me, I say I'm making love to myself. But if I do say masturbate, it's kind of like, yeah, you just did that to release a nut. TMI, but we're all adults here and we all do it. And if you say you don't, then it's okay. You touched down there when you went to go take a shower. So you got some type of sensation at some point. So it's okay. But yeah. But like I like to say, like, when you're really doing it, guys, like, you're really masturbating and it's really, really, really fun. And you had that, like, that gut nut. That's called making love to yourself. So it's no longer masturbation. Masturbation is like, I got an hour. My head bothering me. Let me bust this nut and, feel a little bit better. But I just kind of went off a little bit. Let's continue reading. So yeah, it helps you both mentally and physically. And it's pretty much the safest sex out there. There's no risk of getting pregnant or getting an STD. When you have an orgasm, your body releases endorphins, which are hormones that block pain and make you feel good. See, I was already telling you that. The good feelings that accompany an orgasm happen whether you're by yourself or having sex with a partner. Plenty of research has shown that health benefits of masturbation can release sexual tension, reduce stress, help you sleep better, improve your self-esteem and body image, help treat sexual problems, relieve menstrual cramps and muscle tension, strengthen muscle tone in your pelvic and anal areas. Masturbation also helps you figure out what you like sexually, where do you want to be touched, how much pressure feels good, how fast or how slow. Learning how to have orgasms on your own can make it easier to have one with a partner because you can tell or show them what feels good. And when you're comfortable with sex, your body, and talking to your partner, you're more likely to feel comfortable protecting yourself against STDs and pregnancy. So you guys should touch yourself. It's actually fun. You get to know more about yourself. You build a connection. You get to know, I like to be touched this way. I like it when you grab it that way. I like it when I caught myself. When you do things, on it. Or ladies, you like it when they go deep in there. They do that, that little, never mind. We ain't gonna go there. But you get the gist. So masturbation is fun, So I guess safe sex is great sex. You know what I mean? Especially if you know how to do it right. Because sometimes people just be masturbating. Some people really don't know how to masturbate right. And you gotta make a thing out of this, Make sure use the bathroom, all of that if you're fresh. You know what I mean? Light a candle, get whatever tools you do. If you use a tool, get your hand, all of that, and go at it. You know what I mean? Make love to yourself, right? And so, with that being said, guys, there was no questions with this. I was really excited to actually do this episode because I was like, this is going to be very funny. I really do need to get a guest speaker on here when it comes to sexual energy. I would love like a female's point of view with it. I do have someone in mind, but yeah, because this would be a very interesting topic to talk back with. Hell, this would actually be a very good topic to talk with someone live on, but yes, so I'm excited. But with that being said, guys, that is it for this episode. I hope you all are having a fantastic Friday, and I hope you all enjoy a lot of great things that you learned here. And when you go to work today, or if you're already at work and you see that coworker or whatever business you're doing, and you see that business partner, and you want to do very, very appropriate and naughty things with them, talk with them a little bit and see, like, maybe it is something for you guys to create, and maybe you guys ought to just have sex. But also, too, make sure nobody ain't taken and things like that, because I don't want you guys to say, oh, well, Thad said to go have sex with this, that, and the other. I'm telling you, talk and see. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying to make, if you see a ring on the finger, leave it alone. That's not, I'm just saying. I want y'all to come at me later and be like, hey, Thad, I did what you said, and there's issues. And I'm like, no, you didn't hear me. So yes, with that being said, guys, that is it for this podcast. I love you all. Drop some comments down below if you're on Podbean, and if you're on Apple, literally just like or just follow me on the social medias and just like send me a message. This will be very, very fun. If you have questions at all that you would like to ask for the next podcast, then definitely click on the link below for the questions and we will go from there. So with that being said, guys, you guys are awesome and I will talk to you all Tuesday. Alrighty. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.